if you look at some of the things that gave us the strength today, obviously a jobs number, but more importantly, the Fed, that people are now starting to reassess how they felt 2 weeks ago. I don't think Fed Powell has done anything differently today. Maybe we started to talk about the balance sheet. I think he had some relief out of some better numbers out of China on their services PMI and even on the state PMI, whether you want to believe that or not, and 100 basis points of cutting. Seems like Chinese policymakers are also starting to try to figure out how to scramble around a bit.
Ross, how would you be positioned into Monday, Tuesday's meetings with China?
Well, I think it's going to take more than these meetings to really prove that trade is going to be solved. So, we're just not going to get ahead of the curve here with Trump because, the bottom line is anything could happen. I mean, even at this press conference, the market could end up down for the day, depending on what he says. So, we're in a very conservative position for our firm. We're maintaining our conservative allocation with a very large amount of cash, and we're going to...
What's a very large amount of cash?
Right now, I'm holding 15 to 20% in cash.
And historically, what is it? What is it typically?
Zero.
Wow,
I don't like cash. So, the reason I have cash is I'm going to put it back to work when I feel more confident that the government's working for us and not against us. And it just feels like today, for example, with Yellen on stage with Bernanke and Powell, I mean, God, it was just great to see her and Bernanke, too, and the confidence they can build in markets.
Are you pining, Ross? It's funny you say that. I was also struck by her confidence in the way that she handled some of the questions. Do you think the market's pining for the return of Janet?
Oh, for sure. I mean, just Powell sitting next to two of the smartest people in maybe economic history who have done a wonderful job for this nation. I mean, it was just like, please bring them both back. So maybe he learned something from them in this discussion, and investors are buying.
Let's bring in Ron Insana, CNBC contributor who joins us here on set.
The third smartest person in economic history.
Powell gave the markets...
You got Greenspan.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, right.
Oh,
okay,
no,
so
no,
you dropped down to
Greenspan.
fourth, Ron. Powell gave the markets exactly what they wanted.
Yeah.
Exactly what they wanted.
Absolutely. Flexibility.
Yes.
The obvious recognition that the markets are discounting slower growth, both at home and abroad, all the concerns about trade. Look, he said we'll do what's appropriate for the economy at the appropriate time. Whether that means no rate hikes or whether it means two, that remains to be seen. But clearly he's now acknowledging that there's been a slowdown. I also think he's doing a great job. For the people who keep bashing Jay Powell, I mean, if he makes a mistake by raising rates a quarter point too much, that would be unbelievable in the annals of Fed history. Usually they overshoot by a much farther, a deeper margin than this. So I think he's being unfairly maligned.